Comfort food is all about enjoying some cozy, delicious meal. So in this recipe, you're going to be making my dinner, and I'm going to be showing you how to make some delicious green peas stew, which is going to be flavorful and mouth-watering. And we're going to make a turmeric rice side together with some sautéed cabbage, which is going to turn out crunchy, flavorful, and amazing. Because it's all about veggies, you're going to prep up all your ingredients because this is going to be a multitasking recipe because we are cooking some dinner. So I've already peeled my green peas and washed. Also, I've peeled some potatoes, prepped up some garlic and ginger, carrots, capsicum, onion, lots of tomatoes, coriander, cabbage. I have some more carrots for sautéed cabbage and a few other ingredients which you're going to find listed in the description box down below. All these veggies have different vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, so the recipe is going to be very nutritious. So the first step is going to be parboiling the green peas, and I have a trick which I'm going to be showing you to get that perfect green color in your peas. I have a pot of boiling water which is over high flame. I'm going to add in some salt, which is the key ingredient when it comes to retaining the green color in green peas. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon and transfer in my peas. For the green peas to fully boil until tender, it's going to take around 5 to 6 minutes. So I'm going to proceed to the next step, which is going to be cooking some very colorful turmeric rice. So I'm going to grab a pan, place over medium high flame. Remember, this is a multitasking recipe. You're cooking everything at the same time so that you can rest. So I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, and you'll need some whole spices which you can't miss out buying or having some in your kitchen because they come in handy and they make rice very flavorful. So I have some black peppercorns, cardamon pods, fennel seeds, and cumin seed for the recipe. I'm going to transfer into the cooking oil. Then I'm going to toast for around 30 seconds to a minute, and this is going to make the cooking oil very flavorful because all those natural oils in the spices are going to infuse into the cooking oil. So you're going to wash 1 cup of rice several times to get rid of the excess starch. That is before you start cooking. Then you're going to be soaking for around 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to drain water from my rice. Check on my pan, and by now you'll catch a very nice aroma in your kitchen. So you're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, which is going to give the rice a perfect yellowish color. Toss together with the whole spices. Once you catch a crackling sound from the cumin and fennel seeds, you're going to add in your drained rice. Stir in the rice, add in half a teaspoon of salt to a teaspoon. Toast in your rice for around a minute is going to add in a nice smoky flavor, which is going to be very perfect for the rice, and also the spices are going to infuse into the rice as it's toasting. So using the same cup that you use to measure out your rice, you're going to add in 2 cups of water. Stir in. Bring the flames to medium. Then I'm going to wait for the water to come to a boil, which is going to take around 2 to 3 minutes. Check the seasoning. If it's not perfect, I'm going to add in some more salt. I'm going to check on my green peas. And as you can see, the peas have that green color. which we're looking for. So it's been around 4 minutes. I'm going to check if the peas are cooked. I'll need a couple of more minutes for the green peas to get ready. Within 5 minutes, the water is going to evaporate. So now you're going to cover your pot or pan, reduce the flames to low, and simmer your rice for 5 more minutes. So I'm going to check on my peas. I absolutely love how green the peas are and everything is tender. So I'm going to drain off the water and get straight into cooking my green peas stew. As you can see, the peas are perfectly cooked because they have that nice green color, which is going to pop when the green peas stew is ready. So at this point, I'm going to place another pan for cooking my stew over medium-high flame and add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Add in 1 large finely diced onion and saute for around a minute or 2, or until I get that perfect golden brown color. I'm going to add in around a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is going to draw water from the onions, hence they're going to cook very fast. So I'm going to stir in the onions, not the onions, the salt. And because I've prepped up the rest of the ingredients, it's going to be a matter of adding, stirring, and it's going to be very smooth. That's the best part about prepping up ahead. My rice is still cooking. When the onions are starting to brown, you're going to add in 5 cloves of garlic and a thumb-sized ginger, which is minced. You can also grate. Then I'm going to stir in. So immediately the garlic and ginger hits the hot cooking oil, it's going to get very flavorful and the aroma in the kitchen is going to be so good. So I'm going to cook everything for around a minute. After you add in your garlic and ginger, keep on stirring because you don't want dark bits of burnt ginger and garlic. My rice is ready, so I'm going to put out the flames. Then I'm going to pick, is it a coaster? I don't know. Place on my countertop so that I can create space to cook my sauteed cabbage. My onions are ready, everything is perfect, so I'm going to be adding in tomatoes, potatoes, add in some tomato paste. Next, I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, garlic powder, and a teaspoon of cumin, together with some ground ginger, and 2 seasoning cubes. Add in a tiny bit more salt. Also, I'm going to add in 1 large carrot. Stir in. Add in a splash of water. The cumin is going to add in a nice warm flavor into the dish, hence it's going to be very flavorful and delicious. As for the seasoning cubes, they're going to add in a very nice taste to the stew, together with the garlic powder, ground ginger, and the paprika, which is going to add in a very nice reddish color to the stew. The recipe calls for fresh tomatoes and tomato paste, which is going to add a very rich reddish color and also enhance the tomato flavor, so don't skip. So now I'm going to start off prepping up my ingredients for my sauteed cabbage. So I'm going to chop a small onion, and as for the veggies which are cooking, you're going to cook for around 4 to 5 minutes. If you notice that your pan is drying out, you can add in a splash of more water so that the potatoes can cook halfway. I'm going to check on my pot to make sure nothing is burning. And I've chopped up my potatoes to a medium size because I want the potatoes to pop in the stew. So if you've chopped up your potatoes to a smaller size, it's going to take a short period of time to cook. This is after around 3 minutes, and as you can see, the tomatoes are cooking down. Everything is looking so delish. The potatoes are not yet cooked halfway, so I'm going to add in a splash of water and cook for 3 more minutes as I prep up the rest of the ingredients for my sautéed cabbage recipe. Once my onion is ready, I'm going to transfer to a bowl. You'll need half a cabbage. This is a small cabbage, as you can see, which I'm going to cut into quarter and shred. Transfer my cabbage to a bowl, then I'm going to shred the rest of the cabbage. And once I'm done, I'm going to check on my potatoes, and the potatoes at this point are cooked halfway. So I'm going to add in my green peas at this point. You can tell the stew is going to be so delicious just by looking at the sauce. So once the green peas are perfectly combined with the rest of the veggies, I'm going to bring the flames to high, add in around 2 cups of water, stir in and let the stew simmer for around 5 to 8 minutes over medium-high flame. So the next step is going to be grating up my carrots for my sautéed cabbage, and I'm going to be using this multi-purpose grater. If you don't own one of these, you should buy one because they come in handy because we have different functions in the grater. So I'm going to shred up my carrots. And be very careful while grating the carrots because the grater is very sharp. When you have a small piece of carrot just like this, you can enjoy while grating the rest of the carrots. I'm going to transfer my stew to another burner because I want to cook my sautéed cabbage. So you're going to place a pot over medium-high flame and add in a tablespoon of cooking oil. Then you're going to add in 1 small diced onion, saute for around a minute. And while the onions are sauteing, you're going to add in a seasoning cube, which is going to bring lots of flavor to the sautéed cabbage. You can add in a vegan one to make the recipe vegan friendly. As for me, I always add in some beef seasoning cubes. Check on my stew, which is cooking. This looks absolutely amazing, so I'm going to check the seasoning. If it's not perfect, I'm going to add in some more salt. And the dish is a bit acidic, so I'm going to add in around a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, which is going to stabilize the acidity of the dish because we have added in some tomatoes and tomato paste. The salt is perfect, so I'm going to check on my onions, which are getting a nice color. So next I'm going to add in cabbage. Whenever you're cooking cabbage, don't cover with a lid because the cabbage is going to drain water very fast, hence it's going to turn out soggy, and you want some nice steamed cabbage. So next I'm going to add in my carrots because the cabbage is wilting super fast. It's been around 2 minutes. And if you always wonder why I don't add in salt to my food, it's because of the seasoning cubes, because they have a little bit of salt. So always check, adjust the seasoning to perfection. This is how my cabbage is looking, and it's ready. Just look at this, gorgeous. Then you're going to put out the flames. Several minutes in, this is how everything is looking. We have some nice sauce, which is not too thick, not too thin, just perfect for every bite. So now I'm going to add in my capsicum at this point. Then I'm going to stir in the capsicum, cook together with the rest of the veggies for around a minute until the capsicum is tender. And after 1 minute, I'm going to garnish with lots of coriander. This is the finishing touch. To check if the potatoes are ready, you'll notice that the edges are crumbling. So you're going to put out the flames and serve. This is how my rice is looking. As you can see, it's very fluffy. Absolutely love the texture. I'm going to add in a perfect portion for one. Add in my green peas stew, which is looking fantastic, amazing, delicious, all those perfect words. And as you can see, everything is gorgeous. Then I'm going to add in veggies, of course, my sauteed cabbage. Presentation is part of enjoying some delicious food. As you can see, my plate is looking very vibrant because we have some turmeric rice, which is perfect. The green peas stew is perfect as well, and the sauteed cabbage just adds in that crunch into the meal. So this is an absolutely worth it recipe, which is going to take around 30 to 40 minutes of your time, and it's going to be a win because you're super tired and you want to rest. Catch you on my next episode. Bye bye.